On KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, last night's storms have left their mark in the 4 states. We have an update on their impact in our area.
Also, authorities in Pittsburgh are looking for a suspect involved in a shooting on Sunday morning.
And after those storms last night, skies beginning to clear, a much better Tuesday for us. We do have more severe weather on the horizon. As mentioned, we're going to recap some of the damage reports from last night's storms coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. Just after 7 o'clock on this Tuesday morning, and it has been a long day, a long night for many folks in the 4 states.
Absolutely.
A number of severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings.
An intense night, yes.
Very, very, very intense night. We've got some video of some of the damage out there. We've got some photos of some of the damage. We've got a list of the damage reports across the area as well. And if I am not mistaken, we're going to begin, I believe, with some video from Shannon Becker from last night. Take a look at this. This is from Missouri 249, so we're looking back toward Joplin. This would be northeast of the city, and that was a very well-defined wall cloud and very likely a potential tornado. We did have a radar-confirmed tornado between Joplin and Carthage last night. National Weather Service surveys teams will be assessing all of this that you see. This here, one of the more impressive sights I've seen. This billboard at about 14th and Rangeline just bent in half. Number of trees, power lines down across the area. It's another view of that billboard out there just folded over. And then there's that storm. You can see what is clearly the wall cloud and what is very likely the tornado on the ground out there. So now the assessment teams will determine if what was left behind between Joplin and Carthage and from Joplin into Carthage was straight line winds or potentially a tornado. Here's a look at the damage reports across the area in terms of what's been officially reported so far, again, ahead of any survey teams. Look at all of these wind damage reports. This is where we had that radar-confirmed tornado. This is where we had one of our initial tornado warnings, and all those wind damage reports kind of follow that same path. So again, a National Weather Service survey team will be out. There will be a number of them across the area assessing all of the damage and then making official determinations as to exactly what we saw. Joplin, Duquesne, Carthage, not the only locations with damage. Trees, power lines down in Neosho. We've got enough power outages in Baxter Springs that Baxter Springs, no school today because of the power outages. Same in Carthage today as well. And we've got wind damage reports, unfortunately, into northeastern Oklahoma. We had a tornado touchdown, significant tornado in the Barnsdall area. Produced significant damage, tracked into the northern parts of Bartlesville, left a number of injuries, and unfortunately, one fatality so far has been reported in the Barnsdall area as well. On top of that, we have a number of flood warnings and flood advisories out there. We've received too much rain in too little time. Some areas haven't even had an opportunity to recover from all the rain we've already received. We've talked about it for over a year now, the drought situation and how severe it has been. We've needed this rain, but at this point, we're just getting too much in too short of a window. So remember, turn around, don't drown. Watch out for those flooded areas. On top of that, watch out for the damage. If you see power lines down, don't go near them. Don't run over them. Don't go around them. You've got to treat them like they're live. And to top of all of that, tomorrow, we have that elevated to enhanced risk for additional strong to severe thunderstorms across the area. We're going to talk more about that in detail with the full forecast. And I'll be here in just a few more minutes. As the rest of getting out the door, we're a little cooler across Kansas, starting to warm up though. I'm seeing more mid to upper 50s out there, starting to see more low 60s. We got a low to mid 60s, even some upper 60s now across Missouri and into parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma. We're going to have to contend with winds. Southwest winds gusting upwards of 25. Skies clearing through the morning. Will be sunny through today. Temperatures warm, upper 70s to near 80. So we have an opportunity to assess the damage and start doing some cleanup out there. Another quick reminder, City of Joplin will be holding a press conference at 9 o'clock this morning to discuss the damage and also talk about what cleanup efforts are going to look like as we move forward. But again, a lot of damage. Range line roughly between, say, 10th and 20th Street is where some of the more intense damage is, and then it goes from range line eastward into Duquesne. We're talking not just trees and power lines down. We're talking minor structural damage to business businesses and residences as well out there. We've had some live looks in our earlier shows. We'll have more of those as we go through the morning, more video, more images out there. Of course, we'll have the latest on all of these storms today on the KOAM News at noon, and you can find more information on everything we have so far on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Again, though, we got that severe threat once again tomorrow. We're going to break it down in the full forecast, and that's coming up here in just a few more minutes. Just a lot going on across the area, a lot of damage reports, a lot of wind damage reports, a lot of survey teams are going to be out there with assessing the damage and assessing those reports and determining, again, what was straight line winds and what may have been potentially a tornado across the area. So this is from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, from last night and around the Bartlesville and Barnesdale area. Again, it's dark. It was late when crews got up there to start getting some of this video from that area. And again, we did have a significant tornado that pushed through Barnesdale and into North Bartlesville that did result in injuries and, unfortunately, one fatality up there. We also had injuries reported in Chetopa when a tree fell onto a house in the Chetopa area as well. So, again, we'll have a lot more on all this today on the KOAM News at noon and on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, after severe weather strikes and you've made sure you and your family are safe, you might feel the urge to inspect the damage to your property and your neighbors. However, it's important to take things slow to make sure that it's safe. Joplin fire officials say high winds can knock down trees and blow in debris that can cover up hazards.
Well, the big thing is their own personal safety. There's power lines down, there's trees hanging, all sorts of hazards out in the road and things that could hurt anybody very quickly. And so we just encourage people to be cognizant of their own whereabouts in their own surrounding space to make sure that they don't get injured.
Officials also say you should be aware of hazards in your home like exposed nails and broken glass. Authorities in Pittsburgh are searching for a suspect they say was involved in an early Sunday morning shooting. The Crawford County Sheriff's Office was notified after a man, 34-year-old Keith Mitchell of Pittsburgh, went to Ascension Via Christi Hospital with a gunshot wound around 2 a.m. Sunday. Deputies determined the shooting happened on South 220th Street by the Meadowbrook Mall. Mitchell is expected to survive. Now authorities are looking for 34-year-old Stephen Taylor Jr. of Pittsburgh. They say he was last seen driving the blue-gray 2015 Jeep Compass with the Kansas tags number 269 SCR. If you have any information about his whereabouts, contact the Sheriff's Office. Well, coming up, Jasmine Kyle of the SEK Humane Society and Archie are with us in studio sharing how you can take part in the Empty Shelters initiative that's happening right now. But first, here's a live look at some of last night's storm damage on 12th and Peter Street in Joplin.
Welcome.
Well, Jasmine Kyle with the SEK Humane Society is with us this morning. She has brought her friend Archie with us this morning. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us.
Not a problem. So yeah, this is Archie. He is just a sweet little boy.
Yes.
So Archie is just about a little over a year old. He, as you can see, he's quite small. We don't usually get small dogs like this. We usually get large dogs, boxers, pitties, German Shepherd mixes. But Archie here, he is a terrier mix, most likely mixed with a little heeler.
Okay,
he's got a cute little brindle tail that swipes up. But he is a baby doll, and I mean that. He really will want to jump in your arms and be held like a baby doll and give you kisses and fall asleep in them. He does great with other dogs.
Cute. Yes.
Just needing a home with no cats, he tends to chase some, not aggressively, but we wouldn't recommend a home with cats with him.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Archie is here with us and he's so adorable. And can you talk to me a little bit more about there we go, we can see the puppy here, the Empty Shelters event that's going on right now and where people can come and check out Archie and see if they want to take this little guy home.
Yeah, so right now we're super blessed. We've teamed up with Bizzle's Pet Foundation for their Spring Empty the Shelters event. So through May 15th, our adoption fees for all dogs, all cats is $20.
Wow.
That's it. So
Yes.
everybody's already been microchipped,
Okay.
spayed and neutered, up to date on vaccinations.
Yes.
Our dogs have already been heartworm tested. These
Okay.
guys are good to go.
Yes.
You have almost over $400 worth of savings of medical that you don't have to worry
Oh,
about.
wow.
And this also includes our foster to adopt cases.
Okay,
So
guys.
if you want to foster during this time and then that turns into adopt, we will honor that $20 too.
Okay, wonderful. And so how are you hoping that this helps encourage people in the community and just Southeast Kansas to come out without having those, additional medical expenses and just having that lowered cost? Where are you hoping that encourages people?
We hope it leads directly into more adoptions. Unfortunately, throughout Kansas and honestly the entire surrounding areas in the United States, we're dealing with a massive
Right.
shelters at full capacity. We haven't seen the data this bad since 2015.
Oh, wow.
It is absolutely awful. So again, by removing as many barricades as we can with getting a lot of this medical and vet work done, that individuals don't have to worry about when adopting or buying
Certainly.
a puppy online or anything
Yes.
like that. You can know that you have a guarantee that the medical was done correctly and you don't have to worry about that. It's a successful integration quicker into your own family household. And then again, with all of our dogs, they come with records, the whole 9 yards.
Alrighty, wonderful. Well, be sure to check that out. Thank you so much, Jasmine and Archie, for being with us this morning. What a good little boy. Remember that the Empty the Shelters is happening right now. We'll be right back with more weather when we return.
Feels good to be at Ashley.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:15 now on this Tuesday morning. Want to take a look at the flood warnings and advisories we have across the area. So in addition to the storm damage out there, which you want to avoid for sure, you also want to avoid these flooding concerns out there as well. A lot of locations rather, have not had ample time to recover from the last heavy round of rain we received. And unfortunately, it's leading to more flash flooding concerns and just general flood concerns out there. So remember, turn around, don't drown, avoid these areas out there if your commute takes you. Here's a look at the rain we've received in the last 36 hours with some of these showers and storms. Parts of Elk County, upwards of 5 inches across southeast Kansas. On average, roughly 3 to 4 inches, and that stretches into southwest Missouri. So essentially along and north of I-44, it's in that 2 to 4, upwards of 5 inch zone. You get along and south of I-44, that's where we see more of the 4, 5, and upwards of potentially 6 inches of rainfall out there. It's a lot of rain, and we don't need more. We've needed the rain for the drought situation, but this is too much, too little, in too short a time, and it's causing a number of issues out there. Unfortunately, we have another round of strong to potentially severe thunderstorms for our Wednesday, as we have that low risk, just a little band elevated and then enhanced. The reason these bands are a little narrower than, for example, what we saw yesterday with our risk areas is because we have a cold front pushing in. And thunderstorm development, there's some questions on the timing and exact positioning of these storms as they develop, so they could fire up quickly, intensify quickly, but also move through rather quickly as well. We're going to talk about that. Let's talk about the rest of today. We've got ourselves a pretty decent day. Clouds already clearing out. We're going to be warm. We're going to be breezy though. Southwest winds gusting to 25, but we're going to be warm again, upper 70s, near 80 out there for our highs, and again, sunny skies. So an opportunity to recap the damage, make those assessments, and begin the cleanup process out there as well. As we fall back into the evening, we're going to go mid-upper 50s, and then tomorrow morning, about 8 a.m. Again, the future track, this is what we're talking about. Some differences on timing of initiation on these storms. Future track is showing the clouds, but at this point not showing the storms. But I do believe that as early as 8 o'clock tomorrow, we could see a few isolated to widely scattered showers and storms roughly this zone right here, along and north of I-44. Some of these could be strong, potentially severe. We're looking right now, large hail is the primary threat with these storms. However, damaging wind gusts and that possibility of an isolated tornado still exists out there. We're going to have to keep a close eye on these. By 10 a.m., future track picking up a little better. Here's that frontal boundary, and here's those thunderstorms out ahead of that. And again, they could be strong to severe. Now, as the front pushes through, doesn't have a significant impact on our daytime temperatures, but could re-trigger some additional redevelopment along that frontal boundary, which will put it right along and south of I-44 by late afternoon, early evening tomorrow. And again, some of those storms could be strong, potentially severe as well. So a lot that we've got to keep an eye on as we head into tomorrow, but at least today we get an opportunity to kind of take a breath, take an assessment, do a little cleanup before we have to deal with more storms tomorrow. So again, near 80 today, near 80 tomorrow. That cold front does make us cooler, upper 40s, low 50s tomorrow night, but it also brings us this, several days at least, of dry, calm conditions as we head into the weekend out there. A little cooler, temperatures closer to average into the low to mid 70s. We'll start to warm up next week, and we're keeping our eye on additional shower and thunderstorm chances next Tuesday through Thursday. That's checking your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Welcome back. Charlene Patton is with us this morning, and she has an amazing recipe for a rainbow salad with edamame and sesame dressing. Welcome, Charlene. Thanks for being with us this morning. So can you talk to me a little bit about this already delicious looking salad?
Oh my gosh, you know, this would be a great Mother's Day weekend salad to have.
Perfect for spring into summer.
But the Kansas Soybean Commission is featuring salads this whole month.
Oh,
so
lovely.
Every Tuesday we'll be featuring a new salad.
So exciting.
If they have not ordered the Soy Foods Guide, this recipe is on page 19. And if they've already ordered it and gotten it, then they already have the recipe. That's right. But it's not too late. They can call us and we'll get it. You are going to make the dressing. This is tahini that we have in here. You are going to mix that. I'm just going to add it for you. But this is sesame seed oil. It has this is just a wonderful kind of oriental dressing that goes on it. This is rice vinegar. And then we have soy sauce that we've combined with a little honey there and a little maple syrup and a little bit of fresh grated ginger. So that gives it a wonderful taste.
It's very like fragrant and bright. It smells so good over here.
In here I have shredded, they call it red cabbage, but it really is purple, isn't it? Yes. And then we have green, the regular cabbage over here. And if you don't want to grate that or chop that up, I just used a store-bought mixture.
Like a coleslaw mix.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And it has a little bit of carrot in it, but we're going to add more carrots anyway, so it's perfect. So we'll add that, and then we have our other soybean ingredient, which is edamame that I've cooked. And that's so easy to do anymore because it comes in the frozen food section, and you can just put it in your microwave.
How about that?
And then a little bit of cilantro. So you can see why it's a rainbow salad, because look at all those
colors,
all those
so
beautiful
refreshing.
colors. And then with the dressing, I want to this is water here. And you look at it and see, now do you think it needs to be a little thinner? They said to add water if you wanted to thin it a little bit.
Sometimes the tahini rather can be, you know,
that's right. That's right. So you can add a little bit of water if you want. And then, and it says to do it, a tablespoon at a time. You did great. You added just a little bit.
You told me to.
No, you did great. Now you can pour that over on this, and we'll blend it. And then I have toasted in my oven a little bit of the sliced almonds here. And we'll stir this, and then that gives it a crunch. But how wonderful is this for a Mother's Day?
The dressing is nice and glossy on there, not too
Add a little
much,
bit of
just
that,
perfect.
and I'll hold that up. But oh my gosh, this will be great, and to have it, and they can go to our website at kansassoybeans.org. That's right.
Absolutely.
And they can call our 800 number 877 KS Soybean, and we'll mail them the recipe, and they might even get it before the weekend.
Wouldn't that be great? Well, be sure to do so and stick around. We'll be back with more news. Thanks so much, Charlene.
Thank you.
It costs you nothing to see if we can help.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOA Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. I'm Elise Snowy. With intense storms across the 4 states overnight, it's important to take things slow to make sure it's safe when assessing damage. Joplin fire officials say they assess the scene before beginning rescue efforts in damaged areas.
Typically what happens is that we will move into an area and begin assessing and starting initial rescue efforts, and as the scene continues in these larger disaster events, we will start asking for volunteers from the public, and we'll organize them and we'll use them in areas that we can kind of extend our capabilities that way.
Officials also say you should be aware of hazards in your home like exposed nails and broken glass. Well, students in Carthage yesterday got a lesson on Hispanic culture with a presentation that included music and dancing. The students also made their own maracas out of rice and spoons, and the program was presented by the community's first Latina school board member, Maria Sanchez.
It is very important. Since Carthage, we have the dual language, and it's so important for us to teach it early so they can embrace with all the culture as well.
The presentation was in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, which was held on Sunday. The Tulsa neighborhood is on the hunt for a donkey owner. 2 donkeys keep escaping their pens and running around. A neighbor said they are probably thirsty and hungry. She says the animals are generally well taken care of, even though no one knows who owns them. The previous owner died last year, and now neighbors don't know who to call when this happens. The neighbor says the donkeys returned to their pen last night, but she's worried about them running into traffic during the day.
I would love first to try to find the owners because, like I said, they have taken good care of them for the 2 years we've been here, and they're happy and healthy. But it seems like something's happened, so we would love to find out who they are so we can help.
The neighbor also says if necessary, they'd be willing to take the animals to a donkey rescue to get them off the streets. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we had that round of severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings across the area with the radar confirmed tornado in Jasper County, and National Weather Service teams from the various agencies that cover our area will be out today assessing the damage, determining how much was straight line winds and how much of it was potentially from an actual tornado out there. But take a look at all these wind damage reports, and that's associated with that storm that ended up having that radar confirmed tornado between Carthage and Joplin out there. So undoubtedly a lot of assessments going on. Quick reminder, Carthage and Baxter Springs schools, no school today due to the number of power outages in the community. So Baxter Springs and Carthage, no school today. I want to remind you, of course, of the flood warnings and flood advisories out there. We've received a lot of rain. We got even more, of course, last night. A number of areas haven't fully recovered from the excessive amounts of rain we received just over the last few days, and that's why we've got additional flood warnings out there. We're also keeping our eye on the possibility of another round of strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into our Wednesday. This one could be anywhere in a time frame right now between about 7 a.m. and say 5 p.m. tomorrow, with a cold front that's going to roll into the area. So we do have an elevated to enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow that we're going to keep a close eye on for you as well. As for this morning, to get you out the door, first off, of course, watch out for down trees and power lines. Stay away from the down power lines. And with the flood warnings, make sure you turn around, don't drown. Plan your route accordingly. Be prepared for your commute to take a little longer today. And that's really across the entire area. We've still got mid-upper 50s in southeastern Kansas, in low to mid-60s across Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. As we go through today, southwest winds gusting to 25 and will otherwise clear out, sunny skies, upper 70s, near 80 out there. So an opportunity to assess that damage and start the cleanup process before tomorrow's storms. We'll have more on tomorrow's severe threat and what happens after that clears out here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
We'll see you soon. The city of Joplin is bringing back its homebuyer assistance program. KOAM Samantha Walker explains what this program offers and what the city hopes it accomplishes.
The City of Joplin has announced the creation of the Joplin Homebuyer Assistance Program 2. The program was originally offered during the city's tornado recovery efforts. Now the city is bringing it back, using funds from the American Rescue Plan Act grant. The city says the purpose of the program is to improve opportunities for home ownership for low and moderate income families.
We always have a need in Joplin to provide more affordable housing. With the economy the way it is, with just the cost of living increases lately, anything that you can do to help get a family into a home that they own, that they can be proud of, and start building equity, it's just a great assistance for them.
Program funding can be used to provide financial assistance for a down payment and closing costs up to $40,000.
It's just a great benefit for any size family, low income, get you in a house you can own.
The president of the Ozark Gateway Association of Realtors says housing programs like this can help make home buying more affordable and also help real estate in the area.
It will help sales in the city of Joplin. You know, we don't have a lot of homes currently on the market, so maybe this will encourage sellers to list their homes. I do think this will, of course, encourage buyers to come out and put offers on these properties that we've had that maybe have set a little bit, that might qualify again for the program.
She says she's already had several families reach out about the application. Applicants are encouraged by the city to talk with their preferred home mortgage lender to see if they're a good fit for the program. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The city of Joplin says the program will remain open as funding is available or until the application deadline closes in 2026. You can learn more about how to apply on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The FAA has opened up a new investigation on Boeing. We have the details on what this means for the airline manufacturer. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look at storm damage in Duquesne.
The Stables Casino has amazing...
Write this down right quick.
In Consumer Watch this morning, a new report found just over a decade from now, Social Security and Medicare won't be available to fully pay benefits. According to the Entitlement Program's trustees' annual report, if Congress doesn't act fast to address the pending shortfalls, there will be fewer options. The report says the combined Social Security trust funds are expected to be exhausted in 2035. Following that, payroll tax revenue and other income sources will only be able to cover 83% of benefits owed. Meanwhile, Medicare funds are expected to be able to cover scheduled inpatient hospital benefits until 2036. The IRS is issuing its final warning to Americans to collect the remaining $1 billion left in unclaimed federal tax refunds. The tax collection agency says that 1 million people across the nation face a May 17th deadline to get their unclaimed refunds for the 2020 tax year. In total, the unclaimed refunds are worth more than $1 billion. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and teachers are being honored with discounts and deals. Here are some good ones. Stitch Fix Online is offering teachers get a $50 credit for a wardrobe spruce up. Staples has free supplies kits like markers, pens, pencils, and glue. If a teacher is enrolled in Sonic's Teacher Rewards, they can buy one and get one free deals. And at Buffalo Wild Wings, teachers get 20% off dine-in orders with IDs. The FAA opened a new investigation into Boeing and whether it properly inspected planes in its Dreamliner fleet. This comes after several mid-air safety incidents involving Boeing planes. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the details from New York.
Aviation giant Boeing has been dealing with a growing list of high-profile mishaps. Video taken after a door plug flew off a Boeing 737 MAX 9 is still on the minds of many flyers. Now the FAA says it's investigating Boeing after the company informed the agency it may not have completed certain inspections in areas where wings join the fuselage on some 787 Dreamliner planes. The FAA is investigating whether Boeing employees may have falsified records.
Effectively, they are putting out defective airplanes.
Last month, Boeing whistleblowers testified about the Dreamliner planes in a Senate hearing.
Boeing is at a moment of reckoning.
And adding to the recent intrigue, 2 other whistleblowers have now died within weeks of each other. News of the FAA investigation comes just a couple of weeks after people who lost loved ones in a Boeing MAX 8 crash 5 years ago visited Washington.
It is inconceivable to me that 4 months since the Alaska Air door blowout, there's even a question of whether things have changed.
Boeing says it's working to rebuild trust. The FAA says Boeing is re-inspecting all the 787 planes in its production system and must create a plan to inspect its in-service fleet. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And those are our top Consumer Watch morning stories for Consumer Watch. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Get 32nd and South Range Line, Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 on this Tuesday morning. A reminder first, with the amount of damage around the area, trees, power lines down. First, stay away from the power lines. Second, don't drive over them. Third, plan for your commute today to take a little bit longer, possibly not just to work, but from work. On top of that, we have a number of flood warnings and flood advisories out there because we received a lot of rain again last night, and so plan accordingly for that, especially if you know your route takes you across an area that is flood prone. Make sure you're planning to take a different route out there. Turn around, don't drown. Here's a look at those rainfall totals. Along and south of I-44, some of the heavier amounts of rain, or more widespread heavy amounts of rain as well, upwards of 5, potentially 6 inches. Then you get north of I-44, you get this band where didn't get as much heavy rain, but then you go a little further north and west, parts of Elk County receiving upwards of 5 inches of rain. Again, it's a little more isolated. But across the rest of the area, anywhere from 3 to 4, maybe even upwards of 5 inches of rain out there, which is why we have those flooding concerns. As we head into tomorrow, we have that risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. We have an elevated to enhanced risk across the area. But you see how this area here, especially the elevated and the low, are so narrow? The cutoff point is so sharp. It's because it's a cold front. And there's some disagreement on the computer models as to the exact timing of these storms. And not necessarily even when they're going to begin, but exactly where they're going to begin. So we're going to talk about that. First, today, we're going to have an opportunity to assess the damage, do some cleanup, but be aware it's going to be a bit breezy. And there's going to be some loose debris in locations across the region. So just keep that in mind out there if you're out doing any cleanup, any work this morning or into the afternoon. So we're going to be having a southwest breeze gusting around 25 miles an hour. Outside of that, sunny skies, temperatures upper 70s, pushing close to 80 degrees out there. Today looks great. Tonight looks great. A little cool, but otherwise not bad. Breezy, lows mid-upper 50s. Then, this is where we're talking, and even the future track here, having some disagreements on exact initiation. Showing the cloud cover, but not showing the storms. This is 8 a.m. But I do believe by 8 a.m. we could start to see initiation of some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. The thing is even this early in the morning, they'll be set up. Some of them could be strong, possibly severe. As we head later into the morning, we warm up. We're going to see a few more showers and thunderstorms. Here we are at 10 a.m. And again, any of these are going to have that possibility to be strong, potentially severe. Right now, large hail is the primary concern, but there's still a risk for damaging wind gusts and an isolated tornado. Now here's the frontal boundary. As we head into the afternoon and evening, we could see reinitiation of showers and storms along that boundary, so especially along and south of I-44, and some of those could be strong, potentially severe as well. So something we're going to have to watch closely. Now initially when this front passes, it does not have a major impact on our daytime temperatures, but it will make us a little cooler as we head into tomorrow night. So again, today upper 70s near 80, upper 70s again tomorrow, but once that front passes in the evening, it starts here, our overnight lows into the upper 40s and low 50s. And then much cooler temperatures and much calmer conditions out there as well. An opportunity to dry out as we head into the weekend. Thursday through Monday at least, we will be calm. We've got sunny skies heading into Saturday. A few clouds Sunday and Monday. We'll start to warm up next week, back into the upper 70s and low 80s. We'll also see additional chances for showers and thunderstorms next Tuesday through Thursday. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.
Celebrate your
every time.
Let's face it, a lot of us spend a lot of time working away at our jobs. Some psychology experts say it's important that the places we spend 40 or more hours at each week aren't having negative effects on our wellness.
Fox News' Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at what companies can do to promote better workplace mental health.
No matter what you do for work or how good you are at your job, It's normal for everyone to get overwhelmed from time to time while on the clock.
Everyone has their breaking point.
But with May marking National Mental Health Awareness Month, psychologists say prioritizing your well-being at your workplace could improve your quality of life in and outside the office.
In terms of the factors that influence the mental health of employees, I think the biggest factor is stressors in their work environment. So, especially stressors that employees have no control over.
While some people are prone to handling stress better than others,
there's the personality trait of hardiness. And people who are high in hardiness, they feel like they have control over their environment.
Thomas Britt of Clemson University says managers can take active roles in helping their employees develop strategies to keep them from buckling under the pressure.
You can teach individuals and employees to try to take more control over their environment where they're able to. You can help them see the meaning in what they're doing. And you can train them to get experience handling multiple tasks at once.
When it comes to younger employees and Gen Z, psychology experts say it's important for many to feel like what they're doing at work is making a difference. Britt thinks companies that help their workers feel seen and heard can positively influence workplace mental health, and this can help businesses in the long run.
The organizations that show this high level of supportive climate are going to be the ones that attract the highest quality recruits.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
Certainly important, and it's important to remember these things. I know that May is recognized as National Mental Health Awareness Month, but to take things like that throughout the rest of the year too is also important. And yeah, maybe business should start taking some note.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like you said, it's important to take note year round. We have a tendency when we have a special week or a special month, we really focus on it. And I'm not just talking the news, I'm talking you folks at home too. You really focus on it. But once that special period is over, it is back to business as usual, like it never happened.
Certainly.
So we got to
make a habit out of it. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's take one more look at the damage reports from across the area from last night. So here's wind damage reports. You can see a number of those across Jasper County, especially, and that's where we ultimately had that radar confirmed tornado. So National Weather Service teams will be out assessing this damage, determining what straight line winds and what is actually from a potential tornado out there. Wind damage reports across other portions of the area as well. Even in Chetopa, there was a tree down on a home that resulted in injuries. And of course, I'm sure folks have been hearing about this all morning. The Barnsdall tornado that led into Bartlesville, a significant tornado, significant damage in Barnsdall. Many injuries and unfortunately one fatality out there. We've also got those flood warnings. We've also got strong to severe thunderstorms possible for us tomorrow. And as we get our day underway, though, we will clear out. We've got some clouds out there now. Gradual clearing, sunny skies, southwest wind up to 25 with those gusts. Temperatures into the upper 70s. Right there, look at your forecast. News you need to know right after this.
Attention pool owners across the
a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Many are without power due to a radar-indicated tornado. Winds took down countless trees, which then took down power lines. Overnight, the city of Joplin says potential tornado damage between 9th and 20th Street from Range Line to Duquesne. Reminder, do not approach any down power lines. Public Works crews will be working to clear streets. As of now, there are no reports of injuries. Keep up to date as more information becomes available on our website at KOMNewsNow.com. Authorities in Pittsburgh are searching for a suspect involved in an early Sunday morning shooting. 34-year-old Keith Mitchell of Pittsburgh went to Ascension Via Christi Hospital with a gunshot wound. Mitchell is expected to survive. Now authorities are looking for 34-year-old Stephen Taylor Jr. of Pittsburgh. They say he was last seen driving a blue-gray 2015 Jeep Compass with Kansas tags number 269 SCR. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you're asked to contact the sheriff's office. And the city of Joplin has announced a housing assistance program intended to help improve opportunities for home ownership. The housing assistance program can be used to provide financial assistance for a down payment and closing cost of up to $40,000 when applicants purchase an eligible home in the city of Joplin. You can learn more about how to apply on our website. Of course, that's KOAMNewsNow.com.
All right, as we mentioned, we go through today. First off, avoid down power lines. Watch out for down trees and tree limbs. And turn around, don't drown. Watch out for flooded areas out there as well from all the heavy rain. Aside from that, we're going to clear out. We got some clouds out there now. Gradual clearing through the morning. Upper 70s near 80. Southwest winds gusting upwards of 25 out there. Mostly clear skies through the evening. Still a bit breezy. Mid to upper 50s. We've got that possibility of strong to potentially severe thunderstorms tomorrow. Right now, timing looks to be anywhere between, say, 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., but we'll keep a close eye on that for you. After that cold front comes through, we will clear out heading into the weekend. A nice break from all this severe weather. We'll warm up next week. More storms next Tuesday through Thursday.
A nice break indeed. We definitely need that.
We certainly do.
All right, thanks, Chris. A clever hyena used its problem-solving skills to retrieve a watermelon from a tub of water at an Oakland zoo in California. Video filmed by a staff member at the zoo shows Harley the hyena repeatedly attempting to pull the watermelon out of a container filled with water.
After multiple failed attempts, hyena proves persistence is key, managing to pull the watermelon out using his mouth. Harley demonstrating top-notch problem-solving skills to snag this sweet treat is what the zoo wrote in the post. You got to figure it out one way or another. Yeah. I love watermelon myself, so if I'm going to get it,
We'll see you in a tub of water soon sometime, Chris?
I hope not. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back today at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.